Am I the asshole? Tension after my father passed away and I had to leave 36 hours later because of my in-laws. My in-laws stayed with my wife and me for 3 weeks to watch our toddler while my wife and I were in the hospital having our second. Near the end of their visit, my dad unexpectedly became very ill, so I had to fly home to be with him. My mother-in-law promised she, if not also my Phil, would stay a few days extra, no cost to them as they were staying with us. She's retired and has no obligations for months. Sadly, my dad passed away the first day I was back home, and later that day I was told my in-laws couldn't extend their stay. They had zero reason other than they telling my wife they were tired, as though I wasn't after it caring for a newborn and watching my dad die, and wanted to go home. They haven't explained it to me or apologized for this. As a result, I had to leave my hometown and grieving mother just 36 hours after my dad passed. I had to care for a newborn and toddler while still in complete shock and utter exhaustion so my in-laws could go back to their cushy life. They want to come visit in less than a month, and when I told my wife I'm not comfortable with that, given what they did, my wife said it made her uncomfortable and overwhelmed. She agrees what they did was awful, but won't say anything about it to them, and expects me to just accept them visiting despite how I feel. Am I the asshole if I set a boundary and insist I'm not comfortable with them coming so soon? Or perhaps even just until we have a conversation? It's not just that they left me high and dry when I needed them most, it's that they didn't even reach out to me to explain or apologize. I'm just very hurt and very angry. Edit to clarify that they did not stay extra days. They left on their initially scheduled flight, after telling me they'd push it back. Additionally, my wife was less than 2 weeks removed from a C-section when I left and physically incapable of caring for a toddler and infant, so I had no choice but to come back. The only time my in-laws were primary caretakers of my toddler was the 3 days my wife and I were in the hospital. Otherwise, I primarily watched the toddler. Tell them you're tired and unable to properly host them. You will reach out to them when you're ready to see them again. Actions have consequences and your in-laws apparently never learned that lesson. Focus on your family and ignore outside distractions. Not the asshole. And, since wife won't say anything, you will have to because their behavior was absolutely atrocious. A quick, hey Phil, I heard you are planning on visiting. Well, that won't work for us right now. With the birth of our second child and my father's passing, we are not up for visits nor hosting. Sorry, but we can't host you for a visit. I'm just too tired. That's all you say to them. Not the asshole. I would tell them unless they can give you a good reason for abandoning their daughter when she needed them most, they aren't welcome in your home. Not the asshole. Why on earth isn't your wife absolutely livid with her parents? Not the asshole. What they did was awful, and until they have a sincere apology, I wouldn't allow them access to the house or kids. But you have a wife problem as well. She needs to stick up for her new family, not her family of origin, as you should stick up for her and your new family if your family of origin crosses a line. Perhaps couples counseling. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my friend a free massage? I'm a 25F massage therapist and I used to work at Massage Envy until last week when I set up my own studio. My friend Diana, 27F, wants to book an appointment with me and she insists I do it for free because we've been friends for years. I told her I can't do free sessions right now because I've spent a lot on setting things up and each session actually cost me money because I have to buy oil, lotion, etc. She got annoyed and said, I'm being selfish. I explained that I could give her a huge discount but I literally need all the money I can get RN. But even with my discount offer, she called me stingy and said if I really cared, I'd make it happen. Now a couple of mutual friends are saying that I'm making money off people I claim to care about. I feel bad because I don't want to seem selfish, but at the same time, this is literally my job and how I pay my bills. If I can't keep the lights on, I'd have to close shop. Mind you, I just started. Real friends don't expect free services. Not the asshole. I'm in the group that believes you should pay your friends when you use their professional services. I don't care if it is massage, car mechanic, plumber or whatever. Funny how the person refuses to pay calls others stingy. So, start listing what other forms of compensation you will take. Ask her if she's willing to paint your office or mow your lawn, set up a website, etc. So if she wants to be paid for work, why shouldn't you? Doesn't sound like a friend, more like a leech. Not the asshole. If she were really your friend, she would be supporting your new business endeavor. She would be the first one lining up to buy a massage. Not the asshole. Good friends shouldn't ask for discounts. They should be wanting to support you 100%. Not the asshole. Your friend is being rude and unsupportive. If she doesn't want to pay for a massage, she shouldn't book one. It's that simple. Am I the asshole for confronting my brother about not being able to touch his newborns? My brother, 28, M, and his girlfriend, 24, F, just had twins. Prior to the birth they sent a paragraph into a family GC expressing their rules for visiting them in the hospital. Please do not carry the babies for now. The day after the birth me, 23, F, and my sister, 24, F, were talking to the mom. I asked if her stance on the babies being touched or carried still remains, and she said it does. She continued with how people in our family work construction and smoke cigarettes. Does not apply to me nor my sister, and doesn't want to risk the germs. She used her cousin as an example. He had just came from work, construction, and wanted to touch the babies, which she said no. I asked if he had showered prior to coming if she would have allowed it. She nodded no. Last night I was showing my boyfriend the photos I took of the twins when I received a notification from the family GC. I immediately clicked to see it. It was a video with this caption: "Uncle came to visit the babies." I played the video and it showed the mom on the hospital bed with a baby in the bassinet next to her. Her brother is standing over the bassinet reaching in and touching her head as you hear the mom saying, "Isn't her head soft?" when the video suddenly disappears. The video and message were unsent. Immediately a picture is sent instead with the same caption. This all happened in a matter of seconds. The photo is the same situation as the video except her brother has his hands behind his back and the mom is holding on to the bassinet. I immediately called my sister to tell her. We were both angry. We texted our brother saying we saw the video and he never responded while being active in other chats. Some background. Throughout the pregnancy they vocalized not wanting anyone to touch the kids. My brother had told me he was struggling to find the words to tell my mom that she wasn't going to be allowed to touch or carry the kids. There have been times where my brother tells us one thing until he hears his girlfriend say something else and changes his mind. Twins' grandmother on the mom's side is carrying the babies, feeding, touching, etc. I can kind of understand only trusting your own mother to care for your kids. I still find it unfair for my mother who is just as much a grandmother. But her 17-year-old brother? Who they always complain about going out clubbing every night until 5 a.m. My sister works an office job and I'm not even working because I moved away and went to visit for this reason only. Present. My sister and I confronted my brother over the phone today. He was alone. And he just said that her brother was able to touch one of them because he simply asked and the mother allowed him to. He said we could have gone freshly showered and asked. We said no because we were respecting their very much communicated boundaries. I'm upset because why does her mom and brother get to touch them but not my brother's mom or sisters? Am I the asshole for confronting, coming at him for that? You are the asshole. You don't have a right to touch other people's babies. Even if they allow other people to. They don't owe you an explanation either. Lay off your brother and try asking how you can be helpful. Being a new parent is a lot. You are the asshole. Why do you care so much who touched kids that aren't yours? Why is touching an infant so crucial to your happiness? Please get a hobby of some kind and let the parents decide how they parent. This is weird. Like, the issue isn't really about the kids, is it? There's some other tension or conflict this is a symptom of? You are the asshole. They're allowed to decide in a case-by-case basis what they're comfortable with. They don't have to be fair or justify their decisions to you. Assume for now you can't touch the babies, don't worry about what anyone else is doing, and next time you're with them in person if you really want to hold a baby, ask politely, and don't argue with whatever the answer is. You are the asshole. A lot of people, especially first-time parents, don't want others touching their newborns. A newborn's immune system is not ready to be bombarded by even the normal, everyday pathogens that you and every other person on this planet has. Your brother even said that he would have made the same exception for you that they did for GF's brother. The difference is, GF's brother asked. You never asked. You just talked behind your brother's back about his rule and festered in your hurt feelings. You are the asshole. They just had twins. Stop being selfish. If you're not offering to help cook or clean or help them out in another way, leave them alone. Am I the asshole for asking my kid's bus driver to come earlier? My kids have had the same bus driver for 3 years and she has consistently gotten them to school just a few minutes before or even after the bell time. This has bothered me as my kids will get tardies if they aren't in their classroom by the first bell, but when I've talked to the office they said they understand their bus riders and they wouldn't be penalized. I've let it go. We've been in school 1.5 weeks and my oldest has been very bothered by it this year. Her teacher assigns morning work and while it's not due by the first bell, her classmates are finished and moving on with their day by the time she gets there and gets started. I called the driver yesterday to ask if there was any way for them to get to school earlier. I said I was willing to drive them to school if not. She got short and impatient with me on the phone and then this morning was cold to my kids as they got on the bus, not saying a word to me. I thanked her and texted her another thank you when my daughter let me know that they got to school 10 minutes before the bell and she ignored me both times. Am I the asshole for making this an issue? Unless by bus driver, You mean a private chauffeur that you pay for solely to drive your children to school and you can control her schedule. You are the asshole. Talk to the company, let them know about the lateness issues. They are the ones who control schedule, not her. Not the asshole. I also have a question. If the school is aware this bus driver is consistently late or almost late, are they going to penalize her for it? Because it should really be their job to tell her, not yours. YTA. The bus driver has no say on their schedule or their route. And if they have to pick your kid up earlier, that means they'd have to pick up every kid earlier. Get the okay from every parent and call the bus company. You are the asshole. You should have complained directly to the bus company. While it feels nicer to be direct and try to personally resolve the issue without involving superiors, the employee's manager is ultimately the best person to deal with this. The manager knows everything about Barb bus driver, including why she is late, what motivates her to be on time, and what support she needs to succeed. You do not have the full picture. You are the asshole. I am not sure where you live that it would be appropriate to call the bus driver rather than dealing with the bus company. That is strange behavior. Your kid is not the only one on the bus. Routes take a while to learn and iron out all the kinks with timing. It's the beginning of the school year too. While it's crappy the driver had an attitude, you're being extremely entitled. Info. How did you contact the driver? Was it a call to her at work or her personal number?